Frankie, the first thing I'd like to talk about with your kicking action, and probably the main thing I'd like to focus on, is your ball drop. Now you can see that when you release the ball, how the ball turns and spins in the air, and then by the time you hit your foot, the ball's at a completely different angle than when you actually released it. What we want to do is be able to try to rectify that, so try to make that better so that the ball doesn't spin and turn in the air when you release it. But the first major thing that I want to focus on with your ball drop is that you have got a two-handed ball drop, which pretty much means that you release the ball at the same time with two hands. Now, ideally, I'd love to be able to get you to the stage where you have developed your ball drop and you're able to release the ball just with the one hand. Players who have two-handed ball drops, they really limit themselves, so they struggle to do some things in their kick. One of them is they really limit the amount of distance they can get from their kicks. Another is that before they release the ball, they need to slow down those last one, two, or three steps. They need to actually slow down before they release the ball, and you're doing it in this kick here. And something else they find is after they've kicked the ball, they find that they're not very balanced at all. And balance is really important for the kicking action. So when we have a look at your kicking action, as I mentioned, you do slow down a couple of those steps, and also there's not too much balance just after you've kicked the ball. So what I'm going to do is, with your ball drop, I'm going to split your ball drop into two different parts. The first part I'll talk about is what your guiding hand is doing. So your guiding hand is your right hand. And the guiding hand's got a really important job because that needs to be able to guide and control the ball down to about the level of the hips, and that's where it releases the ball. Now, its important job is to make sure that because you want to have really good control in that guiding hand, when you release it, the ball doesn't move and turn in the air like it is in this kick. Now, players who have two-handed ball drops, one of the common things that they say they need a two-handed ball drop for is because they feel like they don't have enough control with their guiding hand. So, therefore, this might be the case with you. Some things I want you to practice to be able to get more control and confidence with your guiding hand, so your right hand. Things like DFS finger spins or hand spins, and that's where in your right hand you have your palm to the sky and the fingers on the ball in the tips of your fingers, and you spin the ball. And every time you spin the ball, you then stop it and catch it with that hand, just little spins. And you spin the ball round and round and round. Then you spin it the other way. And that will start to give you more control and power in your fingertips and your fingers and that hand. Then once you get really good at it, close your eyes. Spin it one way, spin it the other way. But remember, every time you spin, you should catch it so the ball comes to a stop. Then you spin, catch, stop, spin, catch, spin, catch, spin, catch, and go faster and faster. The other thing is the solo kick. And that's where you just kick the ball to yourself, but you're always focusing on your ball drop, so your ball release. So that's something I would really like you to focus on. Continue to release it at the level of your hips like you are here. And I'd like you to also continue to release it over the thigh of your kicking leg, exactly as you are in this kick here. The other part of your ball drop that I want to talk about is your balance arm and what your balance arm is doing. Your balance arm is your left arm. The first thing I want you to do is have a look at the DFS model kick and have a look at the motion he makes with his balance arm. And I'm going to talk you through it, what I want you to practice with your balance arm. He makes what we call the reverse C. So you can see with our model kick, when he takes his balance arm off the football, and that should come off the football first. As soon as it comes off the football, then your guiding hand brings the ball back down and releases it. So your balance arm should come off the football first. Actually, let's focus on your balance arm first. You can see that when you take it off the football, it goes out to your left side with bent elbow. Then through the kick, you can see how it comes back in, really bent elbow, into the midline of your body, and your hand is almost under your chin. And it's not providing you with a fantastic amount of balance. That's actually the reason why players who have two-handed ball drops feel like they don't have a lot of balance after their kick, because their balance arm isn't doing its job. What I want you to do is, when you take your balance arm off the football, I want you to take it out to the left-hand side and extend it straight, so your elbow's straight, out at shoulder level. Then from there, I want you to slightly push it back, bring it down, and then forward and through. And that back, down and forward and through motion is actually what we call the reverse C, because it looks like a reverse letter C. Now that motion, that will keep you upright through the kick. It'll allow you to bring your kicking leg through the kick with a lot of power and force while remaining balanced. It will also provide you with a lot of balance after you've kicked the ball. So that is your ball drop that I'd really like you to focus on, what your guiding hand is doing and what your balance arm is doing. So continue to release the ball at the level of your hips like this kick, continue to release it over the thigh of your kicking leg, introduce a lot more balance with that balance arm, and make sure that when you release the ball with your guiding hand, you feel like you've got great control and you're releasing it with that one hand, and when you release the ball, it doesn't spin or turn in the air like it does here. And the final thing I want to mention is your kicking foot. If I look at the right hand image, you can see at the point of impact your toes are pointing toward the intended target, but then as soon as you kick the ball, your toes immediately, they point up towards the sky. And that tells me that you're kicking with a loose ankle. So the thing I want you to practice as well is to lock your ankle. As soon as you lock your ankle, you'll find that you give yourself a nice firm foot and your toes just naturally will point towards the intended target. So therefore that helps with that firm foot, be able to transfer a lot of your power into the kick, so into the actual football. And because your toes, they'll naturally point towards the target, you'll also find that your toes will always remain pointing towards the target even when they come back down to the ground. And that, what you can do, that's an easy experiment for you to do. Kick with a loose ankle and a floppy foot, and then kick with a locked ankle and a firm foot, and you'll see just how much more power you can generate in your kicks with a locked ankle and a firm foot.